Hello everyone. Now unless you've been living under a Wi-Fi-less rock, you've probably heard that President Trump has slapped some hefty tariffs on goods from China, Canada, and Mexico. We're talking 25% on our neighbors to the north and south, and a cool 10% on China. Now I know what you're thinking. Abdel, tariffs? That sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry. And you'd be right normally. But this isn't just some dry economic policy debate happening in some wood-paneled room that smells vaguely of desperation and stale coffee. This, my friends, is about to hit you right where it hurts, your wallet. See, these tariffs, they're basically like an extra tax on stuff we buy from these countries. And what do we buy from these countries, you ask? Well, pretty much everything. From the cars we drive to the clothes we wear, to the avocado toast we pretend not to Instagram. We're all guilty of it, let's be honest. So buckle up, buttercups, because today we're diving headfirst into the wonderful world of tariffs. We're going to break down exactly what these tariffs mean for you, your wallet, and your ability to afford that avocado toast. Spoiler alert, it's not looking good. Alright, let's start with our friendly neighbors to the north, Canada. Land of maple syrup, hockey, and universal healthcare. We'll get to that another time. Now 25% on Canadian goods sounds like a lot, right? Well, that's because it is. First up on the chopping block, steel and aluminum. Yes, the very materials that go into building our cars, bridges, and those suspiciously sturdy IKEA bookcases. Now thanks to these tariffs, those materials are about to get a whole lot more expensive. And you know what that means? Yep, you guessed it. More expensive cars, more expensive infrastructure projects, and probably even more expensive IKEA furniture. And let's be honest, no one wants to be paying more for particle board and Allen wrenches. But wait, there's more. Canada is also a major supplier of lumber. So if you were thinking about, maybe finally building that deck you've been putting off for years, get ready to shell out some serious dough. And don't even get me started on the maple syrup. We all need our pancake topping, people. But here's the thing about Canada. They're not just gonna take this lying down. Oh no, they've already announced retaliatory tariffs on a whole bunch of American goods. And guess what's on their hit list? American dairy products. That's right, folks. Get ready for more expensive cheese, yogurt, and ice cream. Because apparently in this trade war, no delicious dairy product is safe. And look, I know what you're thinking. John, this all sounds very serious, but can you please show me a picture of a moose wearing a tiny hat? And you know what? I respect that. Because sometimes you just need a little levity in the face of impending economic doom. Next up, let's head south of the border to Mexico. Land of tacos, tequila, and you guessed it, even more tariffs. Now Mexico is a crucial trading partner for the US, especially when it comes to things like cars, auto parts, and agricultural products. And guess what? Those are all getting hit with tariffs too. Let's start with cars. Mexico is a major manufacturer of cars and trucks, and a lot of those vehicles end up right here in the good old US of A. But with these new tariffs, those cars are about to get a whole lot more expensive. So, if you were thinking about buying a new car anytime soon, you might want to start saving your pennies. Or, consider investing in a really nice bicycle. And speaking of things that are about to get more expensive, let's talk about food. Mexico is a major supplier of fruits, vegetables, and other agricultural products to the United States. We're talking avocados, tomatoes, berries, you name it. But thanks to these tariffs, those fresh, delicious ingredients are about to become a whole lot less affordable. Now I know what you're thinking. John, you're being dramatic. It's just a few cents more for an avocado, right? Wrong, it all adds up, people. Those few cents here and a few cents there, pretty soon we're all going to be eating ramen noodles and tap water for every meal. And let's be honest, nobody wants to live in a world where avocado toast is a luxury only the 1% can afford. Chapter 3, China Trade War II, Electric Boogaloo, and last, but certainly not least, we come to China. The country that's been at the center of this whole trade war debacle from the very beginning. Now, China is a bit of a different beast than Canada and Mexico. They're our biggest trading partner by far, and we buy a whole lot of stuff from them. And by stuff, I mean pretty much everything. From iPhones to clothes to those little plastic toys your kids are obsessed with for about 5 minutes before they end up forgotten under the couch. Now, the tariffs on Chinese goods are a bit more complicated than the ones on Canada and Mexico. They're not all in effect yet, and they cover a much wider range of products. But one thing's for sure, these tariffs are going to have a major impact on American consumers. We're already starting to see prices go up on things like electronics, furniture, and clothing, and those price hikes are only going to get worse as the trade war drags on. And here's the thing, China isn't just going to sit back and take it. They've already retaliated with tariffs of their own on American goods, and they're not afraid to escalate things further. So what does this all mean for you, the average American consumer? Well, in the short term, it means higher prices on a whole lot of the stuff you buy every day. And in the long term, well, it's hard to say for sure, but one thing's for certain, this trade war is going to have a lasting impact on the global economy. So, there you have it. The short version is, everything's about to get more expensive. The slightly longer version is that these tariffs, while potentially well-intentioned, have the potential to kick off a trade war with some of our closest allies and trading partners, and nobody wins in a trade war. Except maybe, the guy who sells those tiny American flags people wave ironically. The takeaway here is that staying informed about international trade policies isn't just for economists anymore. It's about understanding why that avocado you're eyeing up at the grocery store suddenly costs more than your morning coffee. It's about knowing that those new sneakers you've been saving up for might be just a little bit further out of reach. And on that cheery note, if you need a break from the relentless onslaught of bad news that is the 21st century, I highly recommend the USA Today Daily Crossword Puzzle. It's a great way to relax, exercise your brain, and momentarily forget that the global economy is teetering on the brink. As we delve into the long-term economic impacts of these tariffs, it's important to understand that the effects are far-reaching and multifaceted. Experts warn that the immediate price hikes are just the tip of the iceberg. According to Dr. Jane Thompson, an economist at Harvard University, the imposition of tariffs can lead to a domino effect across the economy. Not only do consumer prices rise, but businesses may also face increased costs for raw materials, leading to higher production costs. For instance, the automotive industry, which relies heavily on imported components, could see a significant increase in manufacturing costs. A study estimates that car prices could rise by approximately 10% due to these tariffs. This increase isn't just a burden on consumers, it could also lead to a decrease in sales, potentially resulting in job losses. Similarly, the agricultural sector is likely to be hit hard. Farmers, who often export a significant portion of their produce, could face retaliatory tariffs from other countries. This could lead to a surplus of goods domestically, driving down prices, and making it difficult for farmers to cover their costs. The American Farm Bureau Federation predicts that the net farm income could drop by as much as 8%. The tech industry, deeply intertwined with global supply chains, could also be affected. Higher tariffs on electronic components could lead to increased costs for everything from smartphones to laptops. These cost increases could be passed down to consumers, potentially stifling innovation. In the long run, these tariffs could also impact consumer behavior. As prices rise, consumers may cut back on discretionary spending, slowing down overall economic growth. The International Monetary Fund has adjusted its global growth forecast, citing trade tensions as a significant risk factor. In conclusion, while the immediate effects of tariffs are already being felt, the long-term impacts could be even more profound. It's crucial for policymakers to weigh these potential consequences carefully and consider the broader economic picture. As always, staying informed and understanding the complexities of international trade is key to navigating these challenging times. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses on current economic issues. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.